August the 2nd, 2025 is today's date. It's just turned 8 o'clock. Now, it's been, well, come next month, it'll be a year since Anthony Joshua last laced up a pair of gloves. And correct me if I'm wrong, but his biggest stretch of inactivity, unless I'm very much mistaken, was when he beat Andy Ruiz in 2019, early December 2019. I think he was out of the ring a full calendar year, because the next time we fought Kubrat Pulev. But that was more down to circumstances beyond his control, let's just call it that. This now is his longest stretch of inactivity because obviously he's out with an injury. Well, I think he should be good to go in terms of training now with said injury, elbow injury. But we're still no sooner into figuring out who or when he's going to return to the ring. Now, Eddie Hearn has teased the potential return for later this year. Well, as I said, it is August. We're now into the kind of the dying days of summer, and we're coming into autumn/winter. People, we're on the home stretch of 2025. As crazy as that may sound, because this year has just gone like that, we're on the home stretch of this year, and we're still hearing absolutely nothing about Anthony Joshua. This is a man who has said that he wants to bow out of boxing, even before the Daniel Dubois defeat, mind you, has said that he wanted to bow out of the sport of boxing before October 2026. Well, that's not that far away now in the grand scheme of things when you think about it like this, especially if you're a fighter like Anthony Joshua, who even in his heyday, you were talking twice a year fighting there or thereabouts. So we are going to be hard pushed to basically get him back out. We're going to be hard pushed. We've heard names dropped, Jake Paul being one of them. I sincerely hope that fight doesn't happen. I know there was that funny moment in the look back where I dropped the Jake Paul name there, being completely facetious, and then it cuts to AJ's hand wrap and it has Jake on it. That was during the Chisora White fight. That was just pure coincidence, genuinely pure coincidence. And yeah, I'm hoping that wasn't an omen of things to come. I really am, because what does he get? Like, what's the point? You're fighting a YouTuber. Really? The guy got beat by Tommy Fury. Literally, that's what we're talking about here. The guy got beat by Tommy Fury. No. But then you're hearing names like Tony Oka, and you're like, well, hang on a minute, right? If he's in the twilight of his career, if he's coming to near the end of his career, why are we doing this? Why are we having AJ in basically comeback fights, rehabilitation fights? Man's nearly done. What are you going to rehabilitate him for? You're going to rehabilitate him for one fight over the next year. Yeah, he needs all the rehabilitation for that. No, it's ridiculous. It just has me wondering, what is the plan? What is the actual plan for Anthony Joshua? He had that rematch with Daniel Dubois in the rematch clause anyway, even though he was the challenger. Dubois just lost to Alexander Usyk, so even if you rematch Daniel Dubois, which I still don't think will go particularly well for you, there's going to be no world title implications. Literally none. So that fight, we could just say stick a fork in that. That fight's probably done. He's not going to get a trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk, especially coming to the back of a defeat. I know it's Anthony Joshua, and I know Mauricio Sullivan has said that he'll put Tyson Fury at number one in their ranking should he decide to return, which again I think is absolutely farcical. But Anthony Joshua, he's not going to be able to jump the queue, I don't think, at this stage. Therefore, you have to ask the questions, what is the plan? And look, obviously he's injured, and I'm not remotely saying I doubt the validity of that injury. I absolutely don't. Injuries happen in boxing. Fighters fight through injuries in boxing many a times. I mean, look at Frank Sanchez. He was so desperate to get that payday and to get the opportunity. He fought Adrian Caballel when he was clearly in no fit state to be in the ring. Not in terms of the athletic shape he was in, but in terms of physically with the injury. It was clear he couldn't do it. So I get that fighters get injured, and it happens, of course. It's a very impactful sport, not just on fight night, but the training, everything. I mean, if you do boxing training, you will pick up injuries. Even if you're not injury prone, you will pick them up. It's very intense, extremely intense. So I get that. Injuries happen. But we're literally no sooner to hear what's going to go on. And at the start of the year, AJ was all about Tyson Fury. Days later, Fury announces his quote-unquote retirement, which one minute he's retired, the next minute he's not. Next minute he's saying he wants the trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk. So are you or aren't you? There you go. AJ I think is done. And I think AJ really should have had... I think AJ should have been fighting Dylan White in place of Moses Atama, quite frankly, because I think AJ is on his last legs. All right, and again, people saying no, he's not. Well, how do you know? He's not fought since taking a devastating beating, nearly a year ago against Daniel Dubois. He's an aging fighter. He was showing not necessarily signs of slippage, but a lot of mental fragility. And I think combine that now with being knocked out like that against Daniel Dubois, we're in trouble here. We are, quite frankly. I suspect what Eddie Hearn and Team Joshua are looking to do. They're looking at two possibilities, I reckon. Again, this is just me surmising. Is the Fury fight still there? Is it likely? Is it viable? Personally, for me, I think the Fury fight is still there. I think that Tyson Fury will need a king's ransom in order to take the Anthony Joshua fight. Not necessarily out of... Tyson Fury's not afraid of anybody. He's not. He's a warrior in the ring, 100%. He's not afraid of... When he says he's not afraid of any man, I truly believe that he isn't and that he would fight any man, but it has to be within his reasons. You see what I mean? That's very selective, you know. Oh, I'll fight Frank Sanchez, I'll fight Adrian Caballel, but I need this, and this. You know, sort of way. I think with Anthony Joshua, he looks at Joshua and probably thinks, I can beat you. And I think Fury would beat him, quite frankly, now at this stage. I can beat you, but if I lose to you, well then I can't even run around and say I'm the second best heavyweight, which that's open for debate as well. What he'd probably rather do would be go and have the trilogy fight with Alexander Usyk, probably lose again, and then still run around saying, I got robbed, the conflict in his country, this, that, and the other. We've heard it all before, no one's buying it. Please leave us alone. Alternatively, if Fury goes down that road and we don't get this fight, and again, just going back to the Fury fight, I think it's a massive money maker for both fights. Massive. Even now, there's still an appetite for it. People who watch my videos, the people who are intrigued with Anthony Joshua's career in a sense of, you know, hardcore, we would look at that fight and say, I'll watch it. It will tick that box. We want to see it, we'll watch it. The casual fans, right, will lap that up because they don't care if both guys are coming off the back of losses. They don't care if both guys are in their mid-30s. They don't care if both guys are not what they used to be. Anthony Joshua, we know him. We love Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury, Anthony... Oh, mind's blown to the casual audience. Easily do Wembley, do a killing in Saudi Arabia, not the other one, not the formal. So that makes the most sense. Alternatively, what they might be looking to do is to wait and see what happens with Alexander Usyk, not with fighting him, but to wait and see what happens with those belts. I suspect Usyk will vacate that WBO title. I suspect. I wouldn't be surprised if they look to jump the queue. And bear in mind, I believe Moses Itauma, if he's not number one, he's number two with the WBO. So he's high up there. He's very high up there. So he could be in line for a shot against Joseph Parker should he be elevated to full champion. I suspect Team Joshua will look to jump that queue. And they'll look to get that world title fight against the man they've already beaten. And we've seen what happens with Anthony Joshua. Certainly when he knows the opponent and he knows that he has the beating of them. Otto Wallin being a prime example. You know, easy. And you can question a lot of things about Wallin, his ability, his heart. You can certainly question his heart. I've always had a feeling he lacked in the heart department. But he knew what he was dealing with, Otto Wallin. Knew what he was doing. Battered him in sparring, all that. He's beaten Joseph Parker before, albeit years ago. And Joseph Parker has still got a lot more left in the tank. He might look at that and say, well, I've beaten you before. I know how to do it. I can do it again. Bear in mind, it's a much more aggressive, not crazy aggressive, but it is a much more aggressive Joseph Parker. That could be the other road they're looking to go down. Fury, world title fight, or bust. Because I truthfully, when they're mentioning Jake Paul and they're mentioning in particular the Tony Yokas of the world, I just can't see it. Like, what is the benefit of rehabilitating you at this point now in your career when you're literally near the end anyway? You know, who's going to rehabilitate a fighter who's going to bow out in the next year anyway? It just doesn't make any logical sense. So that's what I'm thinking. But I want to hear something on Anthony Joshua. I want to hear what's going on. Is there any movements in who he's going to return against? When is he going to return at all? I want to hear all these things. Because I think Anthony Joshua, although I don't think he has anything to necessarily offer the heavyweight division, he has so much still left to offer boxing. He really, truly does. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, people, if you could, smash the like button, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Till next time, peace.